What is up, party people? Happy Friday. It is Friday. We are going live on Colorado Chronicles, coming to you with latest topics hitting the Colorado market. We have a bunch we're going to talk about regarding the 16th Street revitalization. We're going to talk about some of the end of season events because if you're in Colorado right now, you are feeling spring. And what that means is that the mountain activities regarding snowboard, skiing, all the resorts, they're starting to shut down, but they don't go out with a whimper. They go out with a bang, throwing down some fun events, some awesome parties happening at these resorts on their last day. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the new Polis, Governor Polis gun regulations. So gun control regulations. A lot of mixed opinions. I've got mixed feelings about this. We're gonna talk about how it affects the gun-toting Second Amendment enthusiast here in Colorado. And we're gonna finish up just talking a little bit about housing news here. But as you guys jump on, it's Friday. It's freaking Friday, people. Happy Friday. If you're with me, say what's up. Say where you're watching from in the comments. Say hello. This is a great time for you guys to jump on and chat it up with me. If you have questions, comments, anything about like Colorado real estate related or not, now is the time to chop it up with your boy, Mr. Murphy. And we're gonna get into it just a minute. We'll give a minute or so, see if anybody else jumps on. See, I got a couple of you guys with me today. And as I've been doing, getting the Palo Santo going because you're in Colorado, you inherently have a little bit of a hippy dippy vibe to you. We're out here with the moon, the stars, the trees, the animals, the spirituality, and you get a little hippie, but still getting my stogie going. So I'm lighting two things because that is how I do it, Mr. Murphy. A little hippie, little hood, a little Palo Santo, little Deadwood cigar as we chop it up and talk about these news articles this week. Do you guys have anything that you specifically want to talk about? You let me know. Throw it in the comments. Let's chop it up. Last night, I was not on last night. Wasn't feeling it, wasn't feeling good, and I just didn't the vibe wasn't right for the night. So I didn't push through last night, but I was like, I can't not hang out with my people. So that's why Friday, it's freaking Friday, 7 o'clock. Let's jump on. It's still sunny out. I love that the sun's going down here in Colorado. And we had a beautiful day with like 80 degrees down in Denver. That all awesome false spring feeling. Everyone's gonna go out. They're gonna get the flowers. They're gonna get their pots. They're gonna get everything planted. And then, as it always happens, Mother Nature is gonna smack them with reality, saying, "I'm in charge. I'll tell you what's up." And they're gonna kill. She's gonna smack down all those plants with rain, with snow, with hail. She's gonna beat them up. But let's first get into our first topic. As you guys jump it on, say what's up. Who we got in here? We got Jared, and I don't have a hat to take off. Jared and my lady Mel. Not my lady, but our lady Mel. Good to see you guys. Thanks for jumping on. I met up with two of our Saturday watchers. I met up and had some Tommy knockers with Rick and Jackie from. They typically jump on Saturday, so good to hang out when you guys are in town. Good to hang out and meet some of our viewers IRL. I trust that you guys aren't weirdos, and if you are weirdos, I trust that you won't call me. Please don't call me if you're weird. But let's get into our first article today, talking about the Denver revitalization. So they've been working on revitalizing 16th Street in Denver for years now. Really just taking out all the pavers, redoing all the pavers, fencing off a whole bunch of sections. It was already kind of becoming a place that you didn't want to stomp around, as the survey I'm about to bring up from this Denver a business journal article. Really, the main thing was safety around 16th Street. People didn't feel safe, and you don't feel safe. You don't feel like strolling downtown, grabbing food, having a couple of drinks, and then walking out of there feeling vulnerable. So we're gonna see what this revitalization finale does, because it's supposed to be pretty much opening up full scale May 20th. So just 1 month now, we should have our streets back in 16th Street. And when I first moved out here, 16th Street was an awesome hang. South Broadway was a sweet hang. Rhino really didn't exist at that point, but just super surprised every time I go down 16th Street, especially after 5. Not many people are hanging out, going to get food after dinner, having cocktails, things like that. You don't see it at the scale that we used to, and especially South Broadway. I was down South Broadway get a dinner and drinks at the Hornet at like, I don't know, it was like 9 o'clock. There was like nobody out there. And like 9 o'clock's late for me, but I know the young gohards, that's typically when you get going, right? So we're gonna head out at 9. There was just streets were super empty. I know there's a bunch of other places that people are hitting up now that we have all these other pockets. We got Pearl Street, we got 32nd and Lowell, we got 38th and Tennyson. I mean, the Highlands area, you get Rhino now, but still, just for that section of the city, both 16th Street and South Broadway, just to feel such a dramatic shift in traffic, it's pretty shocking. So there was 178 million dollar project that went into revitalizing this, really redoing the pavers, making the pedestrian walkways wider, and then also putting in about 50% more trees, which I think is really cool because sometimes the block is hot. The block's been hot down there for different reasons lately, especially down by the RTD terminal area. You go to down um, like sub area, um, not sub, but like there's like a little tunnel that you walk down. A couple times, like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go down here, walk through, and then I walked in there. I'm like, nope, it don't feel safe. Did not feel safe to me. So uh, I don't really see how the project is going to change too much of it, because according to this survey, where was it? Um, Last year, 55% of residents said in a survey that they feel Denver's central business. Oh, I got to turn on this other camera. 1 second. New movie recording for my editors here before I start the article. All right. So this article by the Denver Business Journal stated last year in their survey that 55% of Denver residents feel the business district offers a great experience. That's a decline by 18% compared to 2021, 2023, which were still like pandemic times, which is weird. So, like I said, most blocks are going to be opening again May 30th. So all kinds of great restaurants down there, a lot of new buildings going in, and $1.3 billion in new investments, including additional 2,000 more residential units. 20 companies opted to expand their downtown office space and add a downtown Denver location, places like Ibotta. Um, but yeah, I am, I am eagerly anxious to see how this all turns out. I would love I would love to go back and hang out back down 16th Street. Um, there's Pearl Street in Boulder, and I think that's still a fun hang. You don't feel nearly as dangerous, but just a place that you can hang out, take the family if they're in town, take the kiddos, and feel safe. I think that's the top priority when anyone's going downtown, thrown down, hanging out. So hey, as you guys jump it on, say what's up. Beautiful day, great sunshine. I got my door open. It's a great time to be alive. Great day to be alive. What are you guys getting into this weekend? Any of you guys taking advantage of some of these end of season mountain resort happenings. Uh, Tomorrow, I'm going down to Florissant to go show 5 properties. Florissant, it's a good 2-hour drive from where I'm at, but we do cover that area on our team. And so I was working with some clients that had a wide breadth of territory that they're looking at. We were looking up at Blackhawk, Idaho Springs, Woodland Park. Tomorrow, we're going to check out Florissant. So since they are my people, I'm like, I'm going to come with you. It's going to be a beautiful drive, beautiful day. And I can finish up my Woodland Park video that I started. And then I ran out of sunlight before daylight savings time happened. So what else do we have here? We have a Denver Ski Maker. The Denver Ski Maker, these guys, they make their skis out of Denver trees. So Meyer Skis, known for making the products from Colorado trees, plans to open a bar for an I never know how to say that right, feeling in their factory. So they have their shop, their ski shop, their factory, and they're opening a retail store called the Collior Collior next in the next couple months. So it's going to be the retail space at 1775 South Broadway. And yeah, so come in, hang out. Hang out, see the skis, see how they're built. I got cigar on my tongue. See how they're built, have a drink, and that's a cool feeling. I've gone to coffee bars that are also there's this one out in Portland when I visited that I liked. It was a coffee bar and slash wood woodworking shop, and I thought it was cool because just like the smell of nice wood is just a good thing. My grandpa had a wood shop and just like that a good smell in there. So pretty cool that so earth friendly ethos and a desire to grow the local economy have been a core pillar of their business since the founder Matt Cudmore started making skis in 2009 from his Glenwood Springs garage. So they work with the Colorado State Forest Service, which is kind of cool partnership there because Lord knows we can take some more of these dead wood out of the forest. It creates basically like a matchstick in some of these areas. So you have companies like these that are giving these trees essentially a second life, this wood a second life, and making skis out of it while making these forests a little bit safer. I'm for it. So that is pretty cool. So definitely check them out. There are a lot of cool ski companies in Colorado. What's the one I like? It's in downtown Golden. It used to be right over there in the Battery building off of Icelandic skis as well. So cool. You got some homegrown stuff. You got really cool designs, and it's always nice when you're on the mountains and somebody compliments your ski setup or your board setup. Thanks, brah. Cool. Talking about another Colorado staple. So let me get the cherry cricket. I pulled this one up on ChatGPT, but oh, the growing news is not going to give me the article. I don't need it. I was going to show you a picture of the cherry cricket. Cherry cricket. Where's the downtown? The main location is all over off of First, off of right over in there, the Cherry Creek area. These guys have been around for a real long time. I think 1940s, I believe. Let's see if they say, oh, 1945. There you go. So they are a staple. They kind of stand out because it looks not divey, but it looks old school. And whereas Cherry Creek, a lot of those buildings look super new, super hip, super cool, super modern, super trendy. Cherry Cricket, they've been just doing the same thing at a high level for a while now. So they have a few different locations, but they were eyeballing the location down by DTC Tavern. DTC Tavern's kind of tucked in there. I always thought it was a happening place, was popping off, but apparently they were looking to sell, and the Cherry Cricket approached them with an offer pending renovation cost estimates, and they're now saying looks like these costs might be a little bit too much for us to take on. So they haven't officially pulled out of the deal, but it looks like it might. It's definitely hit a big speed bump, big hurdle on the road as far as development. So don't count on that too much. Don't count on that 100%. They do have other locations over at the ballpark, and they have one like downtown Littleton area, eighth one West Littleton Boulevard down there. So I like Cherry Cricket, great burger, great hang. Now let's talk about something. Let's talk about something controversial. So our governor, love him or hate him, uh, Jared Polis, signed a uh, proposal to, and it looks like they're moving forward with this. So you basically will have to pass a background check now to be able to purchase any type of semi-automatic firearm or uh, anything with a like a detachable magazine, which is pretty much all weapons. Anything that is, they say like air forced. So signed a significant. I'm going to read here from the article. Jared Polis signed a law of significant gun control measure that imposes new restrictions on the sale and manufacture of most semi-automatic firearms with detachable magazines. Again, that's pretty much that's a lot of guns that's covering right there. It's not an outright ban, but the law introduces a permit to purchase system requiring buyers to complete a state approved safety course to obtain approval from their county sheriff. This legislation is set to take effect in August 26th. Prospective buyers must complete a state sanctioned firearm safety course to receive approval from their county sheriff before purchasing a semi automatic firearm. Training courses are required. Up to a 12-hour of instruction focusing on gun safety, mental health considerations, and Colorado's red flag laws. Courses will be regulated by the state, offered by Colorado Parks and Wildlife. There will be exceptions for historic military weapons and commonly used hunting rifles. Those are going to be uh, exempt from the restrictions and gun rights. So again, I'm allowed to give my opinion on this because there's nothing to do with real estate. Um, I'm really torn on this. So yeah, we obviously have a little bit of a gun problem with mass shootings, although we haven't had any major ones in a while. Knock on wood. But there's obviously an issue with the wrong guns getting to the wrong hands, and people with mental health disorders, and just um like irresponsible is the word I'm looking for, irresponsible gun owners. So I I have weapons. I also went and took safety courses. I feel like it's a good idea to be a responsible gun owner if you are going to have them. However, I cannot say that this does not make it now seem that having a gun is a privilege and not a right, a right that is given to us by our Constitution. So I'm very torn on this. I see how it can affect owners. It's going to put some additional uh, legislation and um, I guess like fees and things like that for owners to become gun owners, and maybe a little bit of a undue burden against our constitutional rights to um to bear arms raw. But but um I do see the need. I think it's a good idea to take safety courses and be a responsible gun owner, but I can't avoid the reality that this is pushing pretty hard against our constitutional rights. What do you guys think? This is a hot, fun topic. You guys have any hot takes on this of what you guys think? Um, I mean, it is another way too to get more money. It sounds like the money is going to be going to the wild parks, the um, Colorado Parks and Wildlife. If they're going to be doing the courses, maybe this is a way to get more money into them beyond like hunting permits and things like that. But I don't know. I can't not say it doesn't seem like they're reducing your right to have a firearm. Jared, Jared has a rifle shooting merit badge from Boy Scout days. I don't think they'll accept that, which is bullshit, right? We can agree that's bullshit. Show the badge, walk in there. I'm like, I got this. We're fine. So no, Garrett, Jared, I think you're fine. I think you're gonna be fine on this one. But it'll be interesting to see. I hope it doesn't affect, there's a lot of like shooting ranges, there's a lot of galleries, there's a lot of just gun stores and also, you see the stats of like Chicago and areas where they have um really like restrictive laws on gun control, and those seem to be some of the most violent areas. So it doesn't seem to stop the real criminals. And it seems like if you really want to get a gun, these people always seem to get a gun. So it really seems like it's just making it harder for law-abiding citizens because if you want to get a gun, somebody's gonna get you a gun if you really want one. So I don't know. Let's talk about some not end of days in a bad way, but end of days stuff as far as the Colorado ski resorts. So this is a list of dates, and you'll see that some of these resorts have already shut their doors for the year. And March and April, well, March is kind of my favorite month of the year because it's starting. Maybe weather's getting a little bit better. January, February is like windy. It's freezing. My gaiters like frozen to my face as I'm getting down there. So like March, April, especially if we get like get dumped on by some snow. It's my favorite. You don't have to wear your jacket sometimes. It's just super chill. But time is running out. In a lot of instances, you've already missed the boat, but in some others, you have a couple weeks left. I am going to hit up Vale the 19th and 20th. That's going to be my end of season finale for some of the major ones. But then you always have Arapahoe Basin, which is always the last one. So if you were rocking that Epic Pass and you got that A Bay on your Epic Pass, that is one of the any of limited days. That's the one that they typically say you want to just like hold off on those days till the end of the season because you can snowboard and ski until into June. The reason is they're a little bit higher elevation and the way that the position they don't get a ton of sunshine on that mountain all the time. So they stay out, they rock it till the lights come on. We gonna rock it to the I don't know. All right, but here's some end of season events coming up. So the Showdown and Stampede Party in Steamboat Springs. So this is gonna be 420, very Colorado, a very Colorado day. And if you're going to go enjoy the Colorado activities, you can go out there. They're going to have a home break mini pipe jam. Join Olympia and Taylor Gold and friends with some awesome mini pipe jam. All these people too, they want you to like dress up. I'm all for a fun time, but sometimes like I don't know. I'm also 40 years old and I don't want to get into a costume all the time, but I guess it's in good fun. Maybe I'm just becoming an old man. Then 12 to 2, they have a head-to-head race, dual race on the slopes. Skiers, riders go head-to-head in fun race and stampede. And then 12 to 5, they got DJ spinning era on the steamboat stage. Keep the party going with DJs throwing down fresh beats all afternoon in Steamboat. So that is kind of like the theme for a lot of these. They're just thrown down with events, DJs, uh, opera, after ski drinks, stuff like that. Breckenridge closing day, May 11th. They're gonna have um then Breckenridge have the splash. They have the splash spring pond skim as people slide across their Imperial Challenge. They got a pseudo triathlon where people will run or bike to the base of Peak 7, ascend to the top of Peak 8 on skis or split boards, and then ski or snowboard back down. Costumes such as spandex and tutus are encouraged. Men out there, and at this point, it's just you, Jared. Don't wear a tutu, dude. Wear something freaking cool. Wear a wizard's cloak over a tutu. Don't let these people put you in a tutu, bro. You know what, Jared? I take that back. I'm sorry, dude. Maybe you're a tutu on Sundays guy. Maybe you love it. Maybe I'm stepping out. There's room in this world for everyone here. But for everyone else, don't wear a tutu unless it's your thing. But don't be forced. You don't have to wear a tutu. All right. DJ Cat is going to be there April 5th, 12th, 19th. Rockstar Energy DJ Cat. Snowcat turned DJ booth will be stationed at Peak 8, providing music and enhance the skiing and riding experience. And Peaks and Beats, all of these things, if you haven't picked up on, have cool names. Peaks and Beats. This spring bash at the base of Peak 8 features 2 days of free concerts, pond skimming. Dombresky, I should maybe know that, will perform on April 26th, followed by Cassian on April 27th. Costumes again, encouraged. A Bay all day. They have a bunch of different events because they rock it. See, closing date TBD as late as possible. Known for having the longest ski season in Colorado. They have the 36th annual Enduro and Apre. The S is silent. Apre. I always want to say Apres, but it's not. Apre party. April 9th, a 10-hour skiathon at the Polinsini lift. Let me just butcher all these words. Local residents, yada yada. They got a snow sustainability party, and then this is a fun one. Gay Basin. Join Arapahoe Basin's annual Gay Basin Ski and Ride with Pride weekend. Everything's got a little catchy tune to it. Live bands, dancing, skiing, festivities, drinks. And the thing I like about Pride Week and all that and Pride events is I get to say, that sounds gay. The Festival of the Brew Pubs, and there's nothing wrong with that because that sounds gay. Sounds like a gay old time. Festival of the Brew Pubs, May 25th, Arapahoe Basin will host the annual Festival of Brew Pubs, offering attendees the chance to sample a variety of Summit County's finest craft beers and a scenic mountain scene. $40 hauler for that one. Keystone Resorts, April 6th. Oh, that one's done. They done. Copper Mountain, May 11th. A lot of these places will do this pond skimming event. So as the 2000 season winds down, Copper Mountain embraces springtime spirit with soaked sun laps, scenic views, and lively end of season vibe. Copper goes all out with its closing celebrations featuring live music, pond skimming, festive theme parties, and a community together for one final hurrah on the slopes. The Slush Rush, right? Fun names. So that is what's going down on the slopes, end of season. Have a good time. Get out there, get after it. If you paid for your pass and you haven't used it enough, you got to get out there. Let me look. I think I've got 10 days on my pass right now, which isn't a lot to some people, but that's a decent amount for Mr. Murphy. Yeah, 10 days. And I'm going to go 2 more. 12 days, Icon Pass, worth it. There you go. It's all about making then that like cost analysis of how many times you go up. What else we got? You guys got anything? And you guys jumping on? As you guys jumping, I see a couple more. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going until I finish this stogie here. I did a little stogie tonight because I had a big stogie because the weather was so beautiful. Took my dog down to Golden, right by Clear Creek. There, just hung out by the water. All the college students were out jumping in the water, slacklining, doing all the things, not going to class. What the hell? And I had to take D'Artagnan out there. He is the slowest dog ever. He moseys so slow. He's 16, which is 100 and I want to say 112, right? 112 in dog years. Is that math right? I think so. And gosh dang it, we don't know how many years he's gonna have left. How many more summers? So D'Artagnan definitely was the motivation to get out there. Last up, all right, I'll finish up with this article, and then I'm just gonna chop it up with whatever the hell I want to talk about or whatever you guys want to talk about. This article is coming to us from the Denver Post. Shifting dynamics, how the pandemic reshaped Denver housing market. Now, I saw this article, and there's a couple of things that I'm like, duh, and no crap, and I think that's obvious to everyone, but maybe nobody knew that. The most exciting, interesting, not exciting at all. The most interesting stat that I received was last year, 76% of licensed real estate agents did not sell one home. So I think that there is going to be a mass exodus of real estate agents leaving the market. And I say, good riddance. Not that I want people to not, succeed or be able to feed their families or anything like that. But this is a industry plagued with amateurs, part timers, and in 2000, like between 2018, 2022, when rates were just crazy low and buyers were falling out of the sky, just everybody wanted to buy a house. It was just so easy to be a real estate agent for a lot of these people. But now, as things gotten tighter, rates are higher with the inflation, prices are higher. It's just there's less clients out there, and 70% 6% of licensed agents didn't sell one freaking home last year, which means if you sell one home, you are in the top 24% of agents in the nation, and that is really sad. You can't be competent at what you do. I don't know how much you know the market, how much you know the stats. If you're not in it, working, you can't be good at your job. So um, that's the most fun stat that I heard this week. But this article here talks about how the median price did go down. Dude, super shocking. So I get people that ask me, several this week, that just ask me, hey, like what's it like getting into real estate? And I don't want to tell them that she can't do it, but I don't want to say this is easy. It's super easy to get into real estate, super hard to be successful. The stat is 93% of real estate agents don't make it after 5 years. They exit real estate because it's really easy to get your license, and then a whole bunch of people that are just doing Instagram reels and TikToks, and but they're not actually selling anything. So I mean, I'm working at 7 o'clock. Granted, I am smoking a cigar, talking to people on a live stream, but I am still technically working real estate. And I'll be here tomorrow morning to hang out with you guys before I go down to Florissant for a fun day. But so if you haven't been up to date, I'll just kind of give you the scope of what's happened in the past year. So, I mean, last year, really, with rates were expected to come down a little bit, and they didn't. So you started to see more buyers just kind of coming to the realization that this is the new normal around the 6% range for interest rates. So the people that were waiting for the market to crash or waiting for interest rates to come down, they just realized that um yeah, Jimmy Morgan, no sale this year. That is crazy. So Yeah. So rates are high. Prices are high, but a lot of people that just realize, hey, like rents, I'd rather own rather than be subject to these rental prices. They were like, just like coming back in. I don't think whatever you think about the current administration or the last administration, I don't think that we've felt the full effect of the uh, billions of dollars that we've been printing for our currency and inflation. So uh, I just don't see prices coming down. And interest rates, maybe they come down a little bit, but we're never going to see that 2%, 2.5% interest rate. So some stats here they have the median home price in March was 599,000 in Denver, down 3.9% from April's peak, April 2022's peak. Um, still 6.92% annual appreciation over the last 5 years. April 2022, that's when interest rates were 2.5, 3%. People were going over asking 50, 100 in the mountains, 200,000 over asking cash buyers, especially when everyone got the go ahead. And that's kind of what this article is talking about. People got to go ahead to work remote. So people that were California or New York with high taxes or high prices, they're looking at Denver. It's like, well, if I can work from anywhere, screw this place. So they bounced out. People from California had a huge stack of cash to be able to put down payment on the property or just pay cash. Definitely beat out any first time home buyer that was only trying to put down 3% or 5%. So, yeah, the prices were higher then because demand was just absolutely crazy. I'd go out, homes would have 15, 20 offers on them. Agent wouldn't even call you back to let you know where they were at. It was crazy. This stat is the one that made me, where was it? Oh, new listings for the first quarter of this year, 15,529, more than doubled compared to the first quarter of 2020. Who can tell me what happened first quarter of 2020? It's a weird stat to pull out there. Yeah, nobody, everyone was so insecure. That's when like COVID was really unknown what was going to happen. So of course people weren't moving and people weren't putting their homes on the market. So people back in 2022, you're giving away your firstborn child, giving away everything you can. You're going into an area that you didn't want to really be in. You're getting a house that was not in good enough condition. A seller could just put the property on the market, and they were going to get multiple offers. Uh, but those times have definitely changed. Advantage is definitely leading towards, I'm not even really looking at this article anymore. I'm just chopping it up with you guys now. Advantage definitely leading towards buyers in this market. Sellers need to be super price sensitive about where they're putting their home. Homes are sitting longer, and buyers are no longer just accepting anything in any condition in any area. They're a lot more picky about where, what they buy, and the price that they're buying at. And so sellers need to be super sensitive because they can quickly be in a situation where they're backpedaling. I mean, the buyers will still buy at the right price. If a home is priced right, there is a buyer for it, but they're not taking any nonsense from sellers anymore. So that's basically the summary of the article. Just a couple stats that I saw that I was like, this is this is common knowledge. I don't even know why this is an article anymore. And the stats they were using to compare things, I was just like, that's kind of silly. But yeah, I got a little bit of cigar left. So if you guys have something that you guys want to talk about, let's chop it up. We're supposed to have a great weekend here. Jared and Mel, you guys are back in the house, right? You guys are getting that a great. So if you're not familiar with, shoot, my mind just went blank on the name of the place. It's something Cow Morrison. Oh, the Cow Eatery. The Cow Eatery over in Morrison, uh, they are opening their second location downtown Evergreen, which is great because for breakfast spots in downtown Evergreen, you didn't really have, um, I mean, you had the coffee shop there, which serves a little bit of breakfast, Muddy Buck, and then you had the other little restaurant right next door, but that one is such a hole in the wall. Wildflower Cafe. So it'd be cool that downtown Evergreen is going to get another cool breakfast place, the Cow Eatery. It's traditional breakfast stuff, but they do it at a really high level, and it's great. So normally, if I'm over in Evergreen for breakfast, I'm going to the Bread Lounge, but that's a totally different spot. So downtown Evergreen, the Cow Eatery, gonna be there. You guys had your first black bear sighting at the cottage yesterday. Yeah, Yogi Bear, he is up, and now you probably have seen the reason why a lot of these trash pickup companies will have, little latches, little locks, little pins that you can keep your trash secure and covered. The best place to be, just put it in your garage until trash morning, because yeah, the bears, they are out and they are moseying. If you haven't yet, if you have like the ring doorbell, you get to see the neighborhoods in your area posting. Like, the bears don't really bother me. The bears don't scare me. It's the cats. You see it, just a giant mountain lion walking through somebody's ring light. So if you're not on the ring light game, or on next door is another good one where people will be posting stuff. That's always a good spot to just, yeah, just see the wildlife that's moseying through the area. I went to a showing the other day, and the seller showed me a picture of a minx in the backyard. I've never seen a minx. I didn't even know we had these out here, but it was for sure one of those. What else we got? I got a couple minutes of my stogie left. Other things we could talk about. Um, wildlife cams. There you go. Yeah, you caught a mountain lion. Jared and Mel caught a mountain lion a few weeks back. That is, to me, that's the scariest, because I have never seen a mountain lion, but I know they seen me, and that makes me super uncomfortable, especially when I'm hiking. I always got the bear spray. I always got the bear spray in my pocket knife. Not like I'm going to be able to fend them off, but I'm just, trying to give myself a little bit of a chance here. There was that one guy a couple years ago, Rocky Mountain National Park, that fought and killed an old mountain lion. In my mind's eye, I'm that guy and I can do that as well, but I'm still a white belt in jujitsu, and uh I get my ass kicked by, 55-year-old father of three that are like 250 pounds. So I don't know how I'd do against a predator out in the wildlife. But in my mind's eye, I got it. Well, I'm just gonna Google here. I'm gonna chat GPT. What's some wild. I'm also listening to this awesome book called Centennial. Really into the history of Colorado, the Sandy Creek Massacre. I know I've heard of that a whole lot living in Colorado, along the Platte there, but I didn't really know too much about it. Um, I'll tell you about the Sandy Creek Massacre from the book Centennial that I picked up. So, um, essentially, this guy, Skinnerhorn, this wasn't a U.S. Army. Um, it wasn't a U.S. Army massacre, but there were some U.S. Army men in the group. Um, but this guy, Skinnerhorn, he came down from Minnesota or Wisconsin or something like that. But his family had just been murdered. Like his wife, his son, his like 8-year-old daughter, they were all just like murdered in front of him by Indians. So he was not having it with any Indians. And he's basically said they all need to be wiped out. So he came down to Colorado when Colorado was basically had already put Indians in super bad spots. Basically, this was the time in like the 18 so like 1850s, 1840s, where we were making all kinds of promises to the Indians, giving them land out by the Snake Rattle Buttes, and they basically just kept just pushing them away, killing all the bison. There were just like herds of hundreds of thousands of bison, and we just started mowing them down so that the Indians didn't have things to eat. So Indians started starving. There was this uh little colony, not a colony, what they call the Indian tribes, a little settlement out by Sandy Creek. None of them, like hardly any of them, had weapons. A couple of them had weapons, but really nobody had weapons. It was like old men, women, children, and this guy Skimmerhorn basically got a militia together to go basically just wipe them all out. And not only did they like wipe them out, just killing people, executing people, like doing terrible things to the bodies. And there were like US military people that did not engage because they saw kind of what was actually happening. And that's how, and at first this guy Skimmerhorn was like raved and touted by Denver residents as like a hero. So finally somebody took care of the problem. And then all the other stories came out about what exactly went down there, that nobody was armed, everyone was like pleading for mercy. They are already starving, and they just went there and just mowed them down. That's a fun story, right? Way to freaking make it a downer for you guys on Friday. Sorry about that, guys. Um, what other things we got going on? You know what? It's 8 o'clock. It's almost 8 o'clock. I think we can wrap it up for you guys. So it was good. Thanks for jumping on with me tonight. Friday, late Friday. Thanks for coming in, chopping it up. And I will see you tomorrow morning. And you guys going to be up 8 o'clock. We will walk through all the latest, the greatest, the hottest, the sexiest homes to be hitting the Foothills Market just west of the greater Denver metro area, covering all the areas that you love: Bailey, Blackhawk, Morrison, Conifer, Evergreen, Kittredge, Idledale, Conifer, Idaho Springs, all that stuff. So until then, sleep well, because that's going to be in about 12 hours. I'll see you guys then. Peace.